We're docked in Brest at the moment, and we're just waiting to be able to disembark from the ferry.
So how was it?
It's been quite interesting. We actually left on Sunday night, so we've been on the ferry since Sunday night. We should have been in Bilbao by now. We were taken into incredibly bad weather. We've had passengers airlifted from the ferry who were injured during the bad weather. We were then moved into a bay where we circled the bay during the night because they had to take us in to shelter us from the storm because they couldn't get us into dock.
We're actually looking at pictures which I think you shot. This is your pictures of the helicopter airlifting people off the ferry. Why were they airlifted off?
When we about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, we went into some very, very rough seas. The boat listed really badly to the left and right, and people were thrown about within the boat. I certainly know one gentleman who was thrown off his chair onto further along in the bar, and he was airlifted out with a neck brace, back brace, in quite a bad condition.
I mean, so to be clear, this ferry was diverted. You were supposed to be crossing the Bay of Biscay, which was not exactly the best place in the world to be in a storm coming in off the Atlantic. I mean, was it a surprise to the operators?
It seemed to be, which is quite surprising, and the staff keep maintaining that the storm wasn't forecast and that the weather was worse than expected. But I spoke to a gentleman who had contacted the port, someone in Roscoff, to find out what the forecast was, and it was forecast to be violent storm force 11, and they took the boat out into the Bay of Biscay. I
mean, looking at we were looking at your pictures. I mean, it's a big boat, obviously, and it looked sort of fairly stable. I mean, can you describe what it was like for us? I mean, how did it feel?
It was quite, when the weather was really bad, it was quite scary. There were a lot of scared people on the boat. There's a lot of children on the boat who were very scared. It lifted very severely to the right and left. My husband was standing opposite me, and he slid to the other side of the boat, and then my chair slid to the other side of the boat when it was really badly lifting. So it was quite scary. And then when they turned the boat around, it took a good few hours to get back up the coast to get into the sheltered bay, and we were asked to stay in our cabins, sit down and hold on. So it was not the best of journeys.
Unusual for a ferry to turn around like that and run from a storm. I mean, you sound a little shaky. I mean, you didn't fear for your life or anything, did you?
I didn't really think about it that much, no. Really, we were just a little bit scared, wondering what was going to happen, and trying not to think the worst.
And the obvious question, did you feel sick?
No, luckily we'd looked at the weather forecast before coming out and stocked up on anti-sickness tablets for seasickness, so we just kept them going and managed to avoid seasickness. Right,
which probably means you now feel doped up and are desperate to get to sleep. Catriona Koris, well, good luck getting to Bilbao. Of course, you've got Christmas plans at the other end.
Yes, we do. We've got about a 24-hour drive ahead of us down to Lisbon.